I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but like, hey beautiful people, Milani Maj here, and I'm back with another video. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're old, welcome back. And as always, thank y'all so much for supporting me. I don't have my camera, so excuse the quality, but this is the comeback y'all have been waiting for. I've been MIA from YouTube for at least, I want to say like 3 months now, y'all. 3 months. I have not posted, but I've been reading y'all comments. I've been loving it, and I heard y'all miss me. And I was not going to vlog this trip, which is why I don't have my camera, so excuse the quality. But I'm going to South Africa. Y'all heard what I just said. I'm going to South Africa. I started today with 883 on standby in the International Lounge, as I usually do. I almost always bid International Lounge standby. I started at 8:30. Current time is 9 o'clock, and I just got called for a 4-day Johannesburg trip. I'm scared. Scared is an understatement. And I don't even have time to really get into it because I need to be heading straight to the gate. I'm missing briefing and everything. Like, this flight was supposed to, or I guess the report time for this flight was, I want to say 8:25, and like I said, it's 9 o'clock, and they just called me. So there's that. But y'all, I don't know. They were like, are you willing to be flown into your off day to go to Johannesburg, South Africa tonight? That's a 16-hour flight, y'all. 16 hours. And I said, you know what? Yes, because when else would I get the opportunity to go? When else? I'm kind of regretting my decision, but it's good pay. I get additional pay for getting flown into my off day. I get some other perks that will be attached to me that will benefit me in months to come, especially over the summer. So we're gonna do it, and you're gonna pray for me. I probably won't be able to talk to you guys much during this flight. I've never done the flight. I don't know my position. I don't know anything. But we're about to head to the gate, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Let's go. This is the comeback. This is the comeback y'all deserve. I couldn't come back with anything less than a 16-hour South African 8-day assignment. Like, wow, who am I? Who am I? I don't know. Hey!
Something about the way that you talk to me, even when you're not around. I feel you, boy. I feel you, boy. Tangled in your love and your energy. Perhaps it was the way that you smile. I see you, boy. Oh, I need you, boy.
It feels so good. All right, beautiful people, 14 and a half hours later, and we've made it from Atlanta to Johannesburg, South Africa. This hotel is beautiful, and I love it. I look insane. I'm so tired. Well, not even tired. It's just like I'm wore out. My body is tired more so than I'm actually sleepy because we got a good 5.5-hour crew rest. So I woke up from my 5.5-hour crew rest, honestly, not too long ago. And then we did our final service, which took, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour. And then initial descent, final descent, cleared customs, and now we're here. Honestly, the crew is amazing. I'm so grateful for this experience. I don't have time to explain how everything transpired from my 8 days to standby to even being on this trip, because it is 8:58 p.m. y'all, and I have a 9 p.m. shuttle to dinner reservations with the entire crew. It's the hot spot. Apparently everybody goes the evening that we get into the hotel. Then everybody kind of does what they want to do on day 2, get massaged, get their hair done, go on a safari, whatever. And then we leave at 8:25 p.m. Tomorrow evening. So yeah, there's that. I'm rushing to get dressed and meet my crew back downstairs. We were a little delayed getting in here. I told y'all that, I believe, when I was I think when I was still in the lounge, I told y'all that the check-in time for that trip was like 8:30, and by the time it was assigned to me, it was like 9 o'clock, I think. But anyway, I'm off camera, getting dressed, rushing to meet my crew downstairs for dinner in no time. And of course, I'll take you guys along with me. And then when I get back here from dinner, I will surely give y'all the rundown, the details on how I even ended up here. I really don't have time to be doing what I'm doing right now, but I need to put on at least a little bit of jewelry. All right, so that's that. It's 67 degrees here, very basic. I obviously didn't pack for Johannesburg. I didn't think I was going here, which is probably another reason I'm not going to the safari tomorrow, because I just didn't pack for it. But I'm claiming it. I'll be back, about to head downstairs and meet my crew and have some dinner. See y'all there.
I'm not with nobody, cause I don't wanna hurt nobody. Did it over text, didn't call me. Still got love for your mommy. I know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta.
Okay, it's giving VIP.
Oh yeah, we get a private room.
Okay, private room.
Most of the things I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you chase.
Married 42 years.
Ooh, goals.
We live in Tampa Bay area in Palm Harbor. It's just another day in paradise with no children.
Daphne, married a retired pilot 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and I have 2, he has 2, so we have 4, and they range from 25 to 39.
And he just put in a bidet. I'm jealous.
He did.
Wow.
Married to second marriage, two husbands. One was a flight attendant. This one's a police officer, and 2 kids. Sophomore at Tech and a soon-to-be high school graduate going to Georgia Southern.
Johnny Cash, the one and only.
Hey, Johnny Cash.
Engaged twice, never made it down the aisle.
Smart
2
man.
kids.
Wow.
2 kids. But from New York, living in Atlanta for 8 years.
His deepest, darkest.
I want to hear it.
Oh, no, yeah. Punta Gorda, Florida, lived down there. Married 21 years, Delta 26 years tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Daughter is 19 at Florida Polytech and computer engineering. She comes home Thursday, finally, from her freshman year, so I'm happy about that.
Wow.
I miss my girl.
Beef ribs here.
You got the filet?
Yes. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah.
I'm not in the slide because
Thank you.
Oh, dude, he was right. This is good.
Spinach no cream.
I had spinach with cream.
Onion rings right here.
Grab a rib. Just pull one. It's all good.
Thank you.
These are the beef ones. I've not tried these, so.
No, thank you.
Anybody want mushrooms?
No. I would love to try. I want to try
Salt and pepper anywhere? Just salt.
Here's pepper.
That's the ostrich.
I need a
Pass it
salt.
around. Oh, salt. Salt was over there. I passed salt there.
Medium rare. Sometimes when you order medium rare,
Butter?
their beef can be real bloody, but this is how they recommend this. And the other day one was
Medium
like
rare.
that. And he said, no, I want yours. So yeah.
That is
Medium rare.
medium rare is good.
Yep, for
That is
ostrich
good.
here.
All right.
Well, cherry. I was Eagle something, I thought.
Eagle Creek.
Okay.
I used to fly over there.
I have another business, a full-time business for me. It's a wholesale business. So
Anyway, I'm thankful for benefits and Delta.
Okay, but share the business. What is it? What are you wholesaling?
It's called Girl with a Pearl, and I import pearls and design pearl jewelry and I sell it to stores.
Nice.
Cool.
Really nice place, at the Biltmore Hotel.
Wow.
On that note, my husband informed me that his 30-year anniversary gift is a pearl. He said, what would you like? I don't know. Tell girls about under a girl.
I love it.
And I started off with being hired for the gate, so I worked ticket counter, gates, and ramp for almost 2 years, and then went to in-flight. So I went into in-flight in April '91. I started with in July of '89.
Show me how it's done.
Oh,
baby.
I've been here like some. Oh, okay.
Okay.
You put a shot inside the ice cream. Inside the.
So how do you like it, Tony?
Oh, she likes it. Yeah,
That's no fun. It's my first time. It's my only time. It's my only time here. I won't be back in 30 years.
So you pour it in your milkshake, drink the shot, and then
Always pour it in the milkshake.
You pour, mix it together. Okay. So what is it?
And roll it in the milkshake. And then like
So this is actual ice
Tony,
cream
one more time.
and chocolate.
Pour it in.
and
Or no?
drink the shot, and then this is not alcoholic.
No, that's not very good.
Pour it in the shot. Tony,
Just pour it
I
in.
think I like where the pour in.
Yeah, pour it in, mix it up. Mix it up.
Stir it up.
Okay.
this is not alcohol.
No, only if you request it. But there's alcohol in it. I don't know, but they told us last time. Because we had someone who likes it.
I gotta film this, girl.
I am. You know I am. You know I am.
Gotta do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram, the YouTube, the TikTok. My parents.
The other day.
As it should be.
No, at the
It's just not
hotel.
enough. Right.
They'll make you one and it has a little coffee bean in it.
Isn't that good?
So it's
It's so
called
good. It's so good. This is the problem. Oh my
She was doubting me the whole
I
flight.
can't. I don't think so.
She was doubting me the whole flight, and I kept telling her, I was like,
Am I
she's
allowed?
gonna have a good time.
I don't eat sugar, so it's really sweet.
I don't eat sugar.
I wish I didn't eat sugar.
I just drink
Next
bourbon.
time you won't doubt me.
Huh?
Next time you won't doubt me.
I didn't doubt you. I just doubted my ability to make it through a
The yeast ate the
15-hour
sugar.
flight.
And you did.
I did. I survived, y'all.
And you didn't even fall asleep on the bus.
I didn't, but I definitely fell asleep.
I spit.
I crashed hard,
Like once?
real hard.
Good.
I mean, I appreciate it, but it's not necessarily.
Wow, I love you all.
You know what? I agree. I'll be right here. You know what?
He's like, anyway, that was good.
Life's too short, yeah?
But I don't want them to think that, like, you know.
Just have fun.
It's a good day. It's a great day. All right, y'all. We're back in the room. The current time is 1:55 p.m. And when I tell you I had a ball, I didn't do nothing. We went out to the restaurant Trump's. That was a beautiful experience. If I haven't already, I'll insert the clips of the crew introducing themselves. The only reason that is relevant is to show y'all how senior this trip goes. Because I posted it on Instagram that I got the trip. I was like back in the motherland or headed to South Africa or something like that. And I've already received messages from flight attendants, new flight attendants, that have asked me how long the layover is, what's the deets on the layover. I can't believe you held this layover. I'm about to transfer to Atlanta. I'm coming to soon, blah, 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 blah. I've received a lot of messages like that, and I just want to be fully transparent that no, I did not hold this trip. This is not a trip that I held. This trip goes extremely senior, and as you'll hear in the introduction that we did around the table at the restaurant Trump that we went to this evening, the most junior person on this trip is like 13 years, which is not very senior in the grand scheme of things, because the next most junior person on the trip is, I think, 31 years, if I'm not mistaken, married with children older than me. So it's not a junior trip. It's not a trip that goes very junior. The person closest in seniority to me, like I said, is about 13 years. And he swapped this trip with another trip or rotation that he had on his line with somebody else. So that doesn't really count. He didn't hold per se this trip either out of Atlanta. And then, like I said, the next most junior person to him is 31 years with, again, children older than me. It is absolutely mind-boggling to me that I am even here. And like I promised, I'll give y'all the rundown on how this even happened. It was amazing. The crew was amazing. I'm so grateful for the crew that I got. The flight time was 14 hours and 27 minutes. We sat for the first hour of the flight fully because it was really bumpy. If I haven't mentioned it already, our crew rest was 1 hour. What? Our crew rest was 5 hours and 22 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And when I tell you I slept all of that, yeah, because I woke up at like 8 a.m. yesterday in Atlanta. I came to work at 8:30 p.m. yesterday evening. I was pretty sure I was going to get a lean over, and I've spoken on lean overs before, what they are, how they work, how they're good for adays. So I was pretty sure I was going to get a lean over or two to cover my 8A3 that I had over this weekend, but that's simply not what happened, and that's why I decided to vlog. So here we are now. I'm extremely grateful. So now that all of that is out of the way, I'll give y'all the rundown on how I ended up here, okay? So I had 8A3. Let me be very strategic and give y'all as many facts as I possibly can in regards to this trip. Here we are. I had 8A3 starting on April 29, 2023. I put in multiple preferences for a bunch of crew positions for international layovers, including Frankfurt, Athens, Munich, Paris, London, Amsterdam, Milan, Venice, and probably so many more. I don't even know. Santiago, Chile, Sao Paulo, Brazil. What else did I put in? Buenos Aires, like so many, and I didn't get a single one. So that goes to show you how junior I am and how irrelevant all of my preferences are. Let's be for real. I can do a sit down video in the future that touches on layovers and bidding and domestic versus international, adays, pay, all of that, like nitty gritty stuff. If you guys are interested, I'm not really sure if that's something that would interest y'all, but if it is, you know, just let me know in the comments. But for now, let me just say this, and if it's going over your head, I'm very sorry. Anyway, like I said, I put in specific preferences for international layovers. International layovers that were available in open time on the days that I was on adays, which are my reserve days, my adventure days, whatever you want to call them, availability days. I put in multiple international specific preferences because these trips were available in open time on the days that I was on call. I didn't get a single one of those preferences. There were also plenty of domestic trips available in open time on the days that I were on call, but none of them specifically interest me. So I just disregarded all of that. After that, I put in generic preferences for Baltimore, Miami, maybe Philly, Houston, like a few domestic cities that I wouldn't mind visiting just in case a trip became available in open time that touched the city that I was interested in visiting this weekend. That didn't happen either. My third generic, or I guess technically it's my second generic, but my third overall preference for trips this weekend, or not trips. This is I'm a little lit, so this ain't going. I hope my point is getting across. But anyway, whatever. My third overall preference was for standby in the international lounge from, I think I put 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. because I put it in order of what I would prefer the most, which is the latest first and as early as 1:30 p.m. If I can't hold anything between the hours that I allotted, then I don't want it at all. And that's exactly what I was telling the system. Like, if it's not between 1:30 and 9:30 p.m. being my absolute preference, and earlier than that from there on, then I don't want standby. Just end up assigning me a trip, because if it's earlier than that, the 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., I don't want none of that. If it's in the A lounge, I don't want any of it. I don't want a domestic trip. That doesn't necessarily mean that I won't get a domestic trip, because what the company needs is what they'll assign regardless, so that doesn't really matter. But my preference is international between the hours of 9:30 to 1:30, later the better. That's what I put in the system, and that's what I ended up getting. I ended up receiving standby in the international lounge at 8:30 p.m. I was scheduled to sit from 8:30 p.m. to 12, well, not even 12 midnight, to 11:59 p.m. that day. By probably, y'all, I'm not even joking, like 8:37, they was calling me, asking me if I was willing to be worked into my off day for a trip with a 24-hour layover in Johannesburg. Like I said, the next most junior person to me that actually held this trip on their line is 31 years. If you know, you know. I've only been with this company for about a year and a couple months now, not even a year and a half yet. This trip goes very senior. I won't see this trip unless I just straight up pick it up on my off days, and that's pending the fact that I have enough off days to even be legal to pick it up. I won't see this trip for a very, very, very long time. So I get additional pay for being flown into my off day. It's called FIOD pay, flown into off day pay, very generic. And then I also get, they gave me 2 priority pickups. If you guys are interested in like the details and what goes into that, what's behind that, how to use that, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to touch on that in a future video when I'm utilizing what I was given, what I was offered, to see how all of that works. I feel like it would make more sense in that aspect than it would to just explain it right now. So we'll disregard that for now. Anyway, they called me. They're like, okay, we don't have, I think I've mentioned this before in the previous vlog, I've had 886. We have, as junior people in my bays at my airline, 6 on-call days per month, period. They can be split into blocks of 3, so 3 and 3, or they can be all together in 886. They didn't have anybody on 886. They didn't have anybody on 885. They didn't have anybody on 884 that would be legal for a trip that flies 4 days, which this trip does, because the flight is just so long. It's 16 hours there and back. You have a 24-hour layover, ends up touching 4 days. So they would need a standby person or an 8-day person that is legal for that amount of days, and they just simply didn't have it. So I heard when the scheduler called me that they were calling around asking people if they were willing to be flown into their 4th day, a free day, an off day, to work this trip. And I said, you know what? Yeah. Because again, I'm not going to see this trip for so long. I just don't see it happening for me at all relatively soon, unless I just pick it up in my off days. And this goes, it lands at, let me tell y'all, 9:45 a.m. on my 4th day. So like, I still have the whole day to enjoy. If I wanted to do something, I still could. I have some events. I may keep this vlog going because I have some work events later on in the week. I don't have any more trips. I'm not gonna be that tired, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, honestly, not that big of a deal. So I just say, you know what, yes, I'm willing to do it. Everybody wouldn't do that. There are plenty of people, flight attendant friends now that I have at this airline, that would be like, why did you do that? I'm not even joking, but I was willing to do it, and it was worth it for me. So when the scheduler called and asked me if I was willing to be worked into my off day, I said yes. They're like, okay, thank you for helping the operation. We appreciate you. Here's your gifts. And yeah, get into it. Head to the gate, E14. Because I missed all of briefing. I missed bidding for positions. I missed bidding for bunks and crew rest and all of that. I missed all of that because they were just trying to find somebody that was willing and able to cover this trip. So here we are. And so far, honestly, I'm so grateful. I haven't even done anything, and I'm already so grateful. Like, y'all don't understand. If you've been following me for a while, then you may understand. But this is my 3rd airline. And when I was leaving my 2nd airline after 3 years, I was very back and forth about whether or not I was willing to give up my seniority, give up friends that I had, give up the flexibility that I had to come here. I didn't know if it would be worth it, honestly. It was a very uncomfortable situation for me, and I applied with a friend that did not get the job. That friend told me to apply for this position, like, oh, just apply with me and see what happens. Like, who cares? If it doesn't work out, we still have our job, whatever. And that friend didn't get the job. So when it was time for me to come here, or when I got the job offer for this airline, I was very kind of uncomfortable in the space that I was at, and I almost didn't take it because, 1, the friend that I applied with didn't get it. 2, I was giving up. I felt like at the time that I would be giving up so much seniority, flexibility, friends, Florida, all of that. And when I tell you it's worked out for me, and it's been an amazing thing. And I've said it before and I'll say it 100 times over, just putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but like, y'all, I'm such a Cancer. Like, I'm not even sad. Like, I'm cool, but anyway, I'm just gonna continue. I don't want to talk about it for too long because clearly, I don't know, it's a soft spot for me that I didn't know that I had. But being uncomfortable is cool. Don't let anybody stop you, no matter what the situation is. Don't let anybody stop you from doing what is best for you. If it feels right, it's right. Don't let any opportunity pass you by based on the fact that you would be uncomfortable. Uncomfortable situations make for incredible people. And I am so grateful that I took the leap of faith, regardless of what my friends said, like regardless of what I was thinking internally about how I couldn't do it, how I wasn't ready, how I wasn't able, how I wasn't capable, all of those things. Like, F all that shit. I'm sorry, excuse my French, but like literally, F it. I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 100 times again. If it's meant for you, it will be for you. And I don't think that I would have been presented the opportunities to come here at all if it wasn't meant for me. And I'm so glad that I took the leap of faith. I'm so glad I gave up what I gave up, because the benefits that I've reaped since then have been so worth it. And things like this, situations like this, trips like this make it so worth it. This is why I chose the industry and the life that I chose. I could have done anything, right? But I chose this for opportunities like this, and I would have been selling myself short if I would have stayed in the position that I was in. And that doesn't apply to everybody. I'm not saying that if you're at a regional company or a regular mainline company and not a legacy airline that flies internationally, that you're not living to your full potential, or that you should want more, because that doesn't apply to everyone. But I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking for myself, that I am so grateful personally that I took the leap of faith and I made the uncomfortable decision to change airlines when I did, years later, when a lot of people told me that probably wasn't a good idea, because it's worked out for me personally. Okay? Speaking for me. And that's that on that. Anyway, like I said, it's been amazing. We went to dinner at Trump's. Amazing. Nobody had any food that they don't like. I would definitely say like it's a red meat place, if that makes sense. The beef ribs, the steaks, the lamb chops, like everybody enjoyed it. I tried ostrich and antelope for the first time. It was interesting, but very good. I tried, is it Amarillo? I don't know. Like some type of, it's kind of like Bailey's, I think. And a milkshake, like that was vibing. Like it was great. Pinotage wine, which was absolutely delicious, and it's a type of grape that's only grown here in South Africa. I'm gonna go to the grocery store tomorrow and get me a couple bottles for me and my mom so we can enjoy that together, because it was like literally so good. And I'm not a red wine drinker, so that's a lot for me to say. Like I'll do a spritzer, but just like red wine straight out the bottle is not really my thing, so I don't know. Anyway, and then, if I haven't mentioned it already, the pilots ended up paying for our food. So I had a filet mignon, a baked potato, spinach. We had like, I don't even know how many bottles of Pinotage wine, dessert, drinks, and the pilots paid for all of it. So my entire meal was absolutely free. We loved that for me. Then after Trump's, we came back to the hotel, had I guess a little nightcap and talk back at the hotel downstairs at the bar, and we were just talking about, you know, the merger with Northwest, what 9/11 felt like and looked like, what the 2008 recession looked like and felt like for flight attendants. Like, I'm talking to people that have been in this company for years and years and years in different capacities. Some flight attendants the whole time, or pilots the whole time, but others were in ACS or other different departments for a while, and it was just like so interesting. I learned so much. Unions and non-unions and CEOs that we've had over the years and how they've affected the company, new uniforms that we have coming now, and the color change of the company that we're thinking about. Like, just so much. Like, we sat down there for hours. Like I said hours ago, I left this room at like 9 something. I didn't get back till damn near 2. So that should tell you how much of an evening and an amazing experience that I've had with these people. We have rotations, including this flight, that have a 48 plus 6-hour layover. Unfortunately, that's not what I got, but that's usually when people do the African safaris, see the elephants and walk with the lions and pet the baby tigers and all of that. I won't be able to do that this time. Like I said, my only plan is to go to the mall and the grocery store. There's a grocery store in the mall, so basically just go to the mall and do some shopping for trinkets and wines and all that type of stuff for my family, and that'll pretty much be it as far as tomorrow goes. Not tomorrow, today, you know what I mean. But hopefully I'll be back. Like I said, I have a couple of priority pickups, so maybe I'll be able to finesse my way into this trip or the Cape Town or something like that very soon. And of course I'll vlog it for y'all. But it's been a pleasure, 1, being back and able to vlog, 2, getting this trip at all. And I hope that the message that I was trying to get across a little bit earlier resonated with somebody. Just that being in uncomfortable situations is worth the uncomfort. There's no room for growth in a box. If you're uncomfortable, you're doing the right thing. If you're comfortable, you should be doing more. And on that note, y'all, good night. It's like 2:26. I've been talking y'all head off for I don't even know how long, like 30 minutes at this point. That's all for now. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll wake up in the morning, headed to the mall, grab some trinkets and stuff, wine, whatever, for my family. And honestly, that'll probably be the end of the trip. I'll probably keep this trip going. We'll see. I'll probably ask you guys on Instagram. If you're not following me there already, follow me at milan.imad so you can be a part of the day-to-day process of what my life looks like. Because I know these weekly vlogs be pissing y'all off. I heard y'all don't like weekly vlogs. Y'all need more consistent content. But maybe I'll come back soon with a what am I trying to say? A sit down video to help pass the time. But until then, that's all. I'm out. I'll see y'all in the morning, afternoon, whatever time I wake up. And we'll head to the mall and get some damage done, and then we'll go from there. It's been a pleasure. I love talking. I miss y'all. All right, y'all. Good morning. Well, not morning. It's 2 o'clock. But here's the view from outside my window that I wasn't able to show you guys yesterday. It's beautiful. It gives me like countryside. And then here's the fit. Again, all black, but I'm wearing cargo pants, this bodysuit, same jacket. It doesn't really matter. I'm about to walk to Stanton City Mall. That's like a 12, maybe 15-minute walk from the hotel to that mall. Do some shopping, come back, grab some food at the hotel if I can't get it at the mall, and then get dressed around 7:30 p.m.-ish. That's what, 5 hours from now, to prepare for my 8:25 p.m. shuttle from the hotel back to the airport for our 16-hour flight back to Atlanta tonight. So anyway, let's hit these streets before I talk myself out of it. I'm going by myself. So yeah, it's just me, my phone, and my AirPods. Let's do it. All right, y'all, so this whole area is Nelson Mandela Square. This is where the restaurant Trump that we visited last night. A little bit further down from that is the Stanton City Mall, which is where I'm headed to. There's a Louis Vuitton in there, a bunch of other shops, a grocery store or 2, I believe. So that's where we're going. We want to spend some money. I did want to come out here really quick and say I feel very safe. As a black woman, single, solo, walking around in this city by myself, I feel good. So I just wanted to say that if that's something that you're worried about when it comes to, this isn't a solo travel, but you know what I mean. Moving around, navigating solo, I feel good. I'm feeling very content and confident in my journeys today on my own. We made it to the mall. I'm about to do some damage, see what I can get into. I passed some, that's another reason I like walking, because I passed some like street vendors and stuff on my way here, but I don't have any rand to give them in exchange. So if I don't find anything here, I'll probably just go to the ATM while I'm in here and then stop back at that little spot on my way back to the hotel to grab some tickets and stuff for my family. But yeah, it's beautiful. Let's see what we can find. finishing line is out the door. So I don't really know.
To slow down time. I'm down on my mind. I'm building a still.
Alright y'all, it's about 6:30 and I'm finally about to leave the mall. I have some food at this cute little rooftop bar attached to the mall. Really good, oxtail, potatoes. I did my shopping. I bought some trinkets for myself, my sister, my parents. I got some wine, the wine that we had. So that's that. I'll show y'all everything I brought eventually. About to head back to the hotel. It's a holiday, which I didn't realize. So everything closed about 2 hours early, and I didn't know that. I just looked on Google to see the time that it closed and assumed that that was the time that it closed. I didn't know about the holiday, so by the time I finished eating, everything was closing up. The Louis Vuitton store didn't have a line, unlike it had earlier, and I came to find out that it didn't have a line simply because it was closed early. So that sucked. I didn't get to do all of the shopping that I wanted to do. I just wanted to see the prices. The only thing I wanted to go in there for, honestly, was maybe a pair of slides, but specifically a passport holder, just to see the price of it. I think it's like $365 or something like that before taxes in the US, and I just wanted to compare it, and then I wanted to see what the price would be here, but I wasn't able to find that out. I don't even know if they have it, but it's cool. About to head back to the hotel, probably eat a little bit more of my food, get dressed, catch my little shuttle back to the airport and do it all again. Hopefully, if I have time, I want to stop at duty free in the airport as well, because I didn't get any fragrances, so I wanted to look into that. And I didn't get any t-shirts, and y'all know I get a t-shirt everywhere I go, as well as a shot glass, but I wasn't able to get a t-shirt. I could have, but I wasn't even thinking about it. I was focused on like my parents, my sister, everything, and the shot glass I was able to get at the spot called Out of Africa. All right. Hey y'all, last time I talked to y'all, I was in South Africa. That's a crazy thing to say, but anyway, I'm back in Atlanta. It's the second now. I left last night around 11 p.m. It's 11:28 a.m. on May the 2nd. I've just arrived. I've gotten into my car. I'm on my way to the nail salon, although I'm tired because I broke a nail on this trip, unfortunately. What's going on? I wish people understood the way that a four-way stop works. First in, first out. Whoever gets there first needs to go through the stop sign first. But anyway. So yeah, I'm back in Atlanta in my car after a 16-hour and 47-minute flight from Johannesburg, South Africa. I really can't believe I did it, y'all. Like, I didn't think I would survive. I felt like I maxed out on the way to Joburg, which was 2 hours shorter than the flight coming back. But I did it. I survived. We had a 6-hour and 45-minute crew rest, which was absolutely beautiful. That's neither here nor there. The flight was good. The passengers were great. I hope what I said the other night after dinner at Trump's really resonated with somebody, as far as being in uncomfortable situations and putting yourself out there, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to make room for your growth and living your purpose and living your truth, and just give yourself the room to flourish, because that can't happen within a box only the size of your four walls. You know what I mean? I was a little lit when I was trying to explain that, so I don't know if it came across, but you know, we'll see. Anyway, I'm on my way to get my nail fixed because I unfortunately broke it on this trip, and it's the new set, so I'm not having that, and I got a lot to do these upcoming days and next week too. And I need my nails to be right, so I'm gonna go get that fixed. It shouldn't take too long, and it's a Tuesday afternoon. It shouldn't be too busy. Do that, and then from there, when I get home, show y'all all the stuff I purchased in Africa for myself. And then in the next vlog, because I'm flying home to see my parents, my sister's graduating from college next week. So in the next vlog, y'all will see all of the purchases that I made. Let's go. Like, what's going on? And then in the next vlog, y'all will see all of the purchases that I made for all of my family when I fly up, and I'll give that to them, and I'll be able to show you guys in the next vlog. So yeah, that's all for now. I'll probably talk to you guys when I get home, so I can give y'all a little haul. Until then, goodbye. All right, y'all, I stopped at the nail salon, and I am back home now, and as promised, I'm gonna give y'all a quick rundown of everything I purchased for myself only in South Africa. So let's start out with the duty free. All I got from there was the Amarillo, which is that like white-ish milkshakey drink. It looks like Bailey's or bourbon cream, but instead of putting it in coffee, which I'm sure you still could, they served it to us at Trump's as a shot on top of a milkshake. And when I tell you, it was so good. It was so good. So this was blended into the ice cream along with some chocolate syrup and then a shot of it just on top and then mixed through. So yeah, happy to add that to my bar today. What else I got? I got some t-shirts, but I don't want to show y'all the t-shirts that I got my family. So I'll just show you the one that I got myself, which is just this cute little black tee that says South Africa on it. I thought it was cute with the little flag. I wanted something pretty basic. So this is what I went with. Let's move that over there because that's mine. I'll leave these other couple in the bag. Then, okay, yeah, both of those are for, that's for my mom, that's for my sister. I'll put all that back. Second bag, that's irrelevant. It's the Amazon order that I picked up. Also irrelevant, another Amazon order that I picked up. How did I know I brought something else? Here we go. This I'll put in here. That's for my daddy. That's for my sister. This is for, I think me and my mom's stuff is in here. Let's see. I just think their bags and stuff are so cute. Like, freaking adorable. Okay, I have an item for my mom in here. And then that's mine. Stick that in there. Okay, and then from Trump's, I went back to grab a bottle of that Pinotage wine. If I haven't mentioned it already, Pinotage grapes are only grown in South Africa. And this is the wine that we got several bottles of complimentary at Trump's because they know us, they know our crew. We come there, not our crew, they don't know me. But I mean, generally speaking, they know the Big Daddy B crews that come through there because they come there every single day, and the kitchen stays open for us if we're delayed. Like, it's a whole thing. Like, crews everywhere go there. It's walking distance from the hotel, or our hotel has a shuttle that takes you directly to Nelson Mandela Square, which is where Trump's the restaurant is. I think they even track the flights, or we have their WhatsApp. One of the ladies was like, oh, I text them on WhatsApp, and they said that they'll keep the kitchen open for us because we were a little bit delayed coming in here, like I mentioned to y'all. They kept the kitchen open. We had great service, several bottles of wine. That was free as well. The Amarillo milkshake dessert thing. Like, it was just amazing. So, yeah, I had to go back and buy me some of this Pinotage red wine. It was so good. Highly recommend. And if you can ever get your hands on it, she's a winner chicken dinner. For sure. And I'm not a red wine girly. And then last two items are this wine stopper. I just wanted to say that I got my wine stopper from Johannesburg. Like, huh? Like, huh? I don't even think this bottle will last long enough to utilize this item. Or any bottle in my house don't really last long enough to have a wine stopper. But now I have it, and it came from South Africa. And then this beaded bookmark, so I can stop folding pages and ruining my paper books. So that's all for me. Everything else is for my parents, my sister, my grandma. Like I said, I'll be going up there to visit them and for my sister's graduation, everything in the next vlog. So y'all will see that then. So definitely stay tuned. That's all for today. I'm about to open some packages and stuff that I received from Amazon. I love it here because I swear every time I come home to Christmas. It's a beautiful thing. Tomorrow, I don't plan on doing anything. If I do, I will pick up the camera. But the next day, I have an event, a 2-day company event called Velvet, and we get a staycation here in Atlanta. I get a staycation here in Atlanta. I want to take y'all with me and show you guys as much as I can from that event. It's a corporate event, including flight attendants, pilots, tower, ops, gate agents, ramp people, I believe, too. It's a huge company-wide event, open to everyone on a first-come, first-served basis. It's hosted in multiple bases, multiple times a year. This is my first time being able to actually attend one. So I'm excited about it. It's like a huge conference with the whole company. We discuss the future of the company, what that looks like, pros, cons, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. I know day one is a huge party. I didn't take you guys on Lyft, which was my 1-year anniversary party, but day one of Lyft, if you saw it on my Instagram, you'll know it was a wild night. If you follow me me there, you saw it. We got crazy. And day one of Lift is the same as day one as Vela.
All right, hey y'all, Editing Milan here. I decided not to keep this vlog going simply because it's getting a little bit too long for my liking. 40 minutes on my channel is absolutely astronomical. So I'm going to split it into two. So what I was discussing here was Velvet. You'll see that in the next vlog, as well as a vacation trip to Johannesburg, because 24 hours in that beautiful place simply wasn't enough. So I decided to double back after Velvet for a few days to enjoy Johannesburg on my own, on vacation, and not have to work. That said, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see y'all in part 2.